Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Making with Marilyn. On this video, I'm going to take an 8x10 canvas board. I'm going to adhere a thermal laminating pouch to it, or half of one. I'm going to print a really cute picture on some sublimation paper using the printer that I converted to be a sublimation printer. And then I'll use my heat press. Now some other things, I have some heat resistant tape, the rotary cutter, and then this isn't necessary, but I have a silicone sheet. Now I will need to use some blowout paper. That could be craft paper, computer paper, or butcher paper. So let's dig right in. So I want to go ahead and print my image first so that it can have time to dry while I'm preparing my canvas. I'm using this Koala brand sublimation paper. I got this at Amazon and it's done a really nice job at having vibrant colors. I purchased it because number one, it was in stock, and number two, it got really good reviews. So in this printer, you put the front of the paper facing forward and it just slides down in between these guides in the back. On my printer, I have my settings to premium matte, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Cricut and print this using the print and cut feature. The reason I do that is because there's a few more things I have a little more control over, and I really like that. The downside is you are limited on size. Now you'll notice these colors don't look spectacular, but once you apply heat to this, this is going to be gorgeous. Also, I did mirror this. There's no words on here, but I just felt like it should be the original version. Then I need to cut around the image. I at least have to cut off the black lines, but you can get some stray ink droplets here and there, and you don't notice them until you heat it on to what you're pressing it on. So I'm going to go ahead and cut fairly close to my design. Okay, the next thing I want to do is get my canvas prepped. This is a 2-pack. I don't know if I got it at Walmart or Dollar General. They also have 8x10s at Dollar Tree. They're very easy to find, so I'll go ahead and take one of these. And then we're going to take a thermal laminating pouch. Now you do need to use thermal pouches or thermal film. Okay, I already have one that I've torn in two, but I want to show you the process. Okay, so these are just your good old-fashioned laminating pouches, so one end is not connected. Okay, so you're just going to separate the two sides, and then here at the top where they are connected, you can just pull those apart. Now there's two sides to this pouch. There's your shiny smooth side, and then there's your less shiny, kind of a dull matte side. This is the side that you want against your canvas. So dull side against the canvas. Now I see my canvas has a little something on it, so let me grab the other one. Okay, so I have my canvas, and then this is the dull side. I'll put the dull side against the canvas, and really the first thing I'm going to do is just put this under my heat press for about 10 seconds. Just enough to get this kind of attached to the canvas board. Now for my first press, I'm actually going to use a Teflon sheet. I like the texture of the Teflon sheet. I think that'll help push it down into my canvas texture. I have my craft sheet here just to protect the bottom. I just want to make sure that the entire board is covered. Okay, now I'm just going to press this for 10 seconds. It's set for 40, so I'll go ahead and lift it at 30. Okay, this looks adhered really nicely, so the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it upside down, put it on a cutting board, and just use my rotary blade to cut around it. If you want this to be really finished on the sides, some people will fold it over like a Christmas package and they'll press it down like that. I'm going to have a frame on the outside of this, so I'm not as concerned about that. But after I do my rotary cutter, I will put it back on the heat press for another 10 seconds to see if maybe the raw edges here will fold under just slightly. Now this time when I press it, I'm going to use this silicone mat. Hopefully the edges of it will kind of wrap around and that'll allow the sides to bond just slightly. Alright, so I just left that for about 12 seconds. Now this is going to be really hot. So I have my print, so I'm just going to place it where I think it'll look good. I'm going to add just a little bit of heat-resistant tape just so it doesn't shift on me and cause some ghosting. Some people actually spray their print instead of using this with an adhesive. So I'll go ahead and put my picture down, and then I'm going to use just this paper that came with some Cricut infusible ink as my blowout sheet. Now, blowout paper is just a term. It can be craft paper, computer paper, this kind of paper. It doesn't really matter. Anything that you don't mind ruining and throwing away. So I'm going to press this down. I'm going to go ahead and tighten the pressure a little bit since I had to loosen it when I had my silicone mat under there. And press it down. And I'm going to have this heat go for 40 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll pull the tape up and we'll see how it looks. Now, if you don't have the patience to wait, it is hard for me. I'm usually not a patient person. You could get some tweezers, pull up on that, pull it away, and that'd be fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just check one end of it in case it's not saturated enough. Then I can put it right back down. Oh, but I can tell that is gorgeous. Cute, cute, cute. What little boy or girl wouldn't want this in their bedroom? That's adorable. And if you haven't seen Paw Patrol, my kids are too old. They didn't grow up in the Paw Patrol era, but I learned about this show recently, and it is really a sweet little show. Thanks so much for joining me. Until my next video, bye-bye. Now, after the video, I noticed there was a slight impression where the paper was. And I've seen some people, they'll rip their paper to try to alleviate some of that. So what I did is I put this back under the press with a piece of blowout paper on top, then a Teflon sheet, and I heated it for 12 more seconds. And that made the texture under where the paper was even better. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.